Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Ready to See podcast. I actually did forgot to press the record button on the microphone for this whole podcast. Yes, sorry guys, I did forgot. These things happen, and I just wanted to give you a warning before you actually listen to it. Again, sorry about it, and next time, hopefully, I won't forget. Alright, guys, hope you enjoy the podcast. See you next week. What is going on, you guys? Welcome to the Ready to See podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So today I want to start with the movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It was a good one, but I have to say I enjoyed the original one even more than the sequel. Like I felt like the movie was kind of slow in a way. Like the most important part of the whole movie was probably the last 30 minutes of it. That's when I was actually engaged with the movie. Don't get me wrong, man. The whole aspect of them making an animation type movie, it was just amazing. Just looking at all these animated scenes, it just looks so great. That was the main reason why I loved the first one for Miles Morales. It was just so epic. Like I said, on this one it just felt like it was kind of slow, the storyline, but it was also cool to see almost every single Spider-Man ever created on this movie. Like for real, we actually did get to see almost all the Spider-Mans ever made. If you have ever consumed at least one thing from Spider-Man, say a video game, a TV show, or even the Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, you'll get to see them on there. Which is crazy, man. Because Spider-Man 2, the video game, is going to be released on PlayStation on fall 2023. And I was so excited to see the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man on screen. Like, what? That was so insane, man. It was just so fantastic seeing all of those characters. And I remember seeing an animated Spider-Man as well. He was there in the movie too. I have to say, man, I think I like Miles Morales' character more than Peter Parker's. I don't know, that's just my opinion, because I actually do enjoy the mini game that we got for Miles Morales for the PlayStation. I actually did enjoy that game more than the original one that came out, I think in 2018. Don't get me wrong, man, it's still a fun game, but just playing with those powers and playing as Miles Morales in the snow area in New York City, it just felt right. And plus with the music that they were playing, it was just so good, man. You just can't go wrong with Miles Morales. Speaking of Miles Morales, they're actually making a movie out of him. They're making a live action one. They have created the animation once, but now they're taking it up a level and making it as a live action movie. I'm also excited as well just to see the character of Miles Morales on the big screen. We're actually gonna get a live action version of him for the very first time. It has never happened before, so this is good, man. This is good, and we'll see where they're gonna take his character with the MCU. I believe he is going to be a part of the MCU very soon. I don't know about Madam Web. I'm not really sure how they're gonna connect all of these characters to Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, he's the main one. He's basically is the main Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So maybe in the future they will explain it even better. But as of right now, we don't know. This Spider-Man movie, it went a little bit more in depth with Gwen Stacy's Spider-Man. And this movie, like in the first 20 minutes, it kind of mostly focuses on her and her storyline. Like her father was about to arrest her. I'm actually gonna get into spoilers, so watch out. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I would recommend you to go see it first and then come back to this podcast, because I will tell you a few major spoilers. And also, I like that this movie actually focuses on another Spider-Man character named Miguel O'Hara. It's the 2099 version of Spider-Man. Now this Spider-Man, I remember seeing him in a video game a long time ago. I think it was a video game that came out in 2012 or so. They were letting us play that game on Best Buy, I believe. Like you used to remember if you played video games like in the early or mid 2000s, there were a few games that they always had installed so kids can play and their parents just can go around the store and buy whatever it is they're looking for. And while the kids, they were just playing on this area. Well, like, I used to play that game one time. It was so much fun playing as the dark one, as the dark Spider-Man. The one that is like a 1950s version of Spider-Man. I think that was my favorite one, and probably my favorite suit as well. The 2099 one, it looked awesome as well, and the city too. But mostly I only got to the part where you mostly fought with the 1950s Spider-Man. That's like the only one that I mostly remember playing as. When I first started playing the game, I think I first played as the 2099 version of Spider-Man. But since I started the game all over, you were able to play as the normal Spider-Man. But then I think you were able to change which Spider-Man you wanted to play as. Because I remember there was a segment that you can play as the 1950s Spider-Man. So that's why I played that part first. Yeah, man. Let's see where they take it with Spider-Man. And also, we had to talk about the main ending for this movie. Miles Morales wasn't supposed to be bitten by a spider. A spider that was from a different universe came to his universe and bit him. The universe that spider was in, there was no Spider-Man at all. And that spider made it to the other universe where Miles Morales was living. He was able to bit him, and then he became Spider-Man. I know this because Miguel O'Hara, the leader of all the Spider-Mans that were there, he told them that since he did save the people in a different universe, there was like something that made the universe do something differently. And now, the people that were in trouble, well, it's just only one person that was in trouble. It was actually his father. Since he wanted to go back to the university he came from, he couldn't, because it's something that you cannot change. That's what Miguel O'Hara said. It's something that you need to let go of. It's something that you need to let happen. But Miles Morales didn't want that. And like the whole action scene where he was escaping all the Spider-Mans, it was pretty neat, man. With all the animations they had and all the different Spider-Mans. There was even a dinosaur Spider-Man as well. It's just so amazing to see how an animated movie has come so far. And to be honest, the Spider-Verse movies, the first one, the Into the Spider-Verse movies, probably just made a new wave of animation. Because before that one, I hadn't really seen another movie that mixes 3D and 2D animation together, and it makes it work well with both of them combined. Probably the next movie I saw after Into the Spider-Verse that it has similar animation was probably the Puss in Boots movie. Not the one that came out in the, I think, in the early 2000s, but the one that just recently came out, I think, last year, I believe, in December or so. Yeah, that was the next one I saw that it kind of took the same animation, like how it was with Into the Spider-Verse. That's great, man. That's great that animation's moving forward and people are actually watching it. Because if nobody watches it, then there was just no point of making it, right? But yeah, that's a good thing, man. It makes me like want to draw and make an animated movie myself. That's how good I thought that the Across the Spider-Verse movie was. I actually do give this movie an 8 out of 10. Oh, and let's not forget at the ending, Miles Morales didn't make it back to his universe. He was actually in a different one where the spider that bit him was in. In that universe, there was no such thing as a Spider-Man. The only one that was there was the Prowler. The Prowler on his universe was his uncle, right? But on that universe he was staying at the ending, the Prowler was actually his twin, with his other universe version of him. Miles Morales on the universe that he was in was the bad guy. That's just, I kind of did figure it out by the ending that this could be him. And I was right, man. I was right that this was actually him. He's a villain on this universe. And the thing is about this movie is that it finished with a to be continued sign. Yeah. Like once we got to see the to be continued sign, I heard a lot of people like getting not mad. They were like, like really? Like they couldn't believe that they need to wait for another movie. And they are making another movie. It's called Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's gonna be great, man. This movie was just mostly setting up for the next one. That's why we didn't really get to see that many action scenes. And I guess this movie was just mostly focusing on the characters themselves, the main ones like Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales. These are the two main characters of these movies, and they're going to play a big deal on the next one. So we're gonna see how they're gonna do it with the next one. I know for sure that the next one is gonna be even better than this one. Even though I give this one an 8 out of 10, I think the other one could be way better. But we're gonna see, man. The same thing happened with the Fast and Furious movie, the one that just recently came out with Fast X. To be honest, I kind of enjoyed that movie more than Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, I know. People saying that this franchise is dead, this franchise is just not good anymore. But I had to say, I was entertained from this movie the whole time. It was a ride. It was a good one. It was a better movie than the one we had before, Fast X. Fast 9, the one when they introduced John Cena, I believe it just wasn't that great. Even the Fate of the Furious one, it just wasn't my cup of tea. The last Fast and Furious I did enjoy watching was Furious 7. And that was the best one for that time. But now, years later, you have to say Fast X has been a good movie after that one. It took a long time for a good Fast X movie to show up. Now, it is here. But the same thing happened, like I mentioned with Across the Spider-Verse. They ended on a cliffhanger. Yeah. there's another movie that is coming like that as well. I believe the Mission Impossible movie, the one is coming out, I think, this month, I believe, or July. I'm not really sure the actual month that it's coming out. But the title of the movie just gives you a hint that they're gonna leave you in a cliffhanger as well. Yeah. We That's crazy. We actually are going to get 3 movies this year that leave in cliffhangers. Yeah, that has never actually happened before. Now that I think about it, yeah, it never really hasn't happened before. Yeah, crazy times we're living, right? Now switching gears, guys, I want to speak to you about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is actually probably going to fight David Benavidez. They sent a contract to Canelo. The contract says that they were giving him a $50 million offer to fight David. But would Canelo take it? I would. I would have taken that. But I don't know, man. I hope he does, because 50 million, man. 50 million to fight someone. Dude. That's that has to be no brainer, right? But he also has been settling contracts with Bivol. I'm not really sure what is going on there, but they're still in talks with the contracts. Oh yeah, I never did mention to you this, guys, but Errol Spence versus Crawford, this is actually happening. It's happening around July. I did not mention to you this fight because I'm not really familiar with the fighters. When I started watching boxing again, this was around 2021, around mid 2021. That's when I started watching boxing once again because of Manny Pacquiao. He had his last fight against Ugas. I was going for Manny to win, but Ugas got the best of him. Yeah, man, it was his last fight. He lost that fight. And the crazy part is, Ugas only had like a 2-week notice to fight him, and he took him out. He didn't knock him out. He just won by decision. He was getting the better shots, and that's how he won, man. He earned the fight against Spence, but then Spence beat him. Manny Pacquiao was supposed to fight Errol Spence Jr., but it never did happen. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's been almost 2 years since I started watching boxing again. And that's when I actually got into watching the UFC, when Conor McGregor came back to fight Dustin Poirier for the 3rd time. Around this time, I didn't know that he was actually fighting until I actually got recommended like something on Twitter about him, that he was coming back. Yeah, that's how I started watching UFC again, with Conor McGregor coming back, and from boxing with Manny Pacquiao coming back to fight. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I remember watching Conor McGregor when he fought against Floyd Mayweather. I really wanted him to win so badly, because Mayweather, man, he was such a heel, and not many people didn't like him. Even I did, in a way, because he beat Manny. He beat Manny Pacquiao. But still, you had to admit, man, Floyd Mayweather is one of the greats from this era. But I don't know if will he be remembered like Rocky Marciano or Muhammad Ali. I say that because his last big fight was against Conor McGregor. But I believe this fight, it should have been just an exhibition one. This fight, this win, should not have counted as the 50th win for him. It should have been an actual professional boxer to go up against him. But no, it was actually a UFC fighter that was going to boxing. That should not have happened, to be honest. That's just my opinion. He should have actually fought another boxer to earn that 50th win. Maybe his career was tarnished because of that. Because he beat Conor McGregor and got that 50th win, it just doesn't seem right to me. He should have fought a professional boxer to earn that 50th win, but he didn't. And yeah, guys, I think that is it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to it. If you did enjoy it, make sure you follow it on wherever it is you're listening to it. If you're listening to it on Spotify, YouTube, make sure to subscribe to it and follow it as well. Recommend the podcast to a friend or neighbor or one of your family members that will also enjoy listening to combat sports, horror stuff, and basically almost anything pop culture related, like for movies, entertainment. Maybe they will like hearing this podcast as much as you do as well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening again. As always, take care and live to the fullest. Bye.